Hello, boys and girls. Happy Tuesday. I hope everyone is doing awesome. I hope you guys had a fantastic weekend, and I hope you guys are ready to continue learning with this week. So, this week we are going to start talking about, we started last week. We're going to continue talking about comparing two texts. So, our central question says, how can I use key details or important information to compare and contrast two texts on a topic? And what that means is how can I use two texts, super important information and some key details from two different texts to compare and contrast them, tell how they're alike and tell how they're different. So today what we're going to do is we're going to start with an interactive tutorial on iReady that's going to help us learn how to compare and contrast two texts. We are going to we're going to read two passages together, and then we're going to answer some questions. They're called The History of Television and Should We Watch TV? And then you guys are going to read two passages on your own, Goodbye Books and e-readers, no substitutions for books, and you're going to answer those questions in Canvas independently. So let's look at our interactive lesson. And I'm going to just move myself off the screen so that we can see the entire screen, but I'll pause and talk.
A Bermuda Triangle Mystery by Rachel Graham.
All right, so we are going to be reading A Bermuda Triangle Mystery by Rachel Graham. So this says, December 5th, 1945 was a stormy day. Flight 19, a team of 5 Navy pilots took off over the Atlantic Ocean. Everything was going well. None of the pilots had any reason to worry. That is, until all 5 planes suddenly disappeared. These are two of the Flight 19 pilots. The Navy sent out a search plane to find Flight 19, and it vanished too. No one believed that 6 planes could simply disappear in just one day, and yet they had. This was how the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle began. So the Bermuda Triangle is the area between Miami, Florida, San Juan, Puerto Rico, and the islands of Bermuda. You can see it makes up a triangle. So this is supposedly where all 6 planes flew and disappeared. The Bermuda Triangle is a triangular area of the Atlantic Ocean east of Florida. The area didn't have a name until Vincent Gaddis wrote a magazine article about the 6 missing planes in 1963. That article sparked the public's interest in many ways in the mystery, and other people started writing about it. Some wrote about missing planes, while others wrote about boats that had been lost. Soon, there were so many books about this curse of the Bermuda Triangle that people started believing that it was a dangerous place to travel.
What is so interesting about the Bermuda Triangle?
So, what is so interesting about the Bermuda Triangle is that the island of Bermuda is very close by? No. Is it that planes and boats seem to disappear there? Maybe. Or is it that it's a triangular area of the Atlantic Ocean? No. So it is that planes and boats seem to disappear. That's what's interesting about it. Oh, I need to move this. All right. These Navy American Avengers were the same type of planes the Flight 19 pilots flew. So these are the planes. They look similar to this that went missing. But do more planes disappear in the Bermuda Triangle than anywhere else? Scientists say no. You have the same small chance of crashing there as you do anywhere else in the ocean. So they're saying that there's nothing super special about the Bermuda Triangle that makes planes crash, that can happen anywhere in the ocean. Did people ever figure out what happened to Flight 19? Mostly yes. On that stormy day, the head pilot sent a message to the Navy saying that his compass was broken. The rest of the planes followed him farther out to sea. All of them most likely crashed, and the search plane that disappeared, the pilot reported that his equipment wasn't working properly. People saw that plane explode. At least the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle has an explanation. So, one thing about the Bermuda Triangle is that, okay, first, I used to be obsessed with the Bermuda Triangle, so that's why I know a lot about it. So, one thing about the Bermuda Triangle is people who have flown through there say that it messes with their compass and it messes with all the equipment, and so it makes their plane stall and they crash.
Fill in the blanks to tell about the Bermuda Triangle.
So, the Bermuda Triangle blank began in 1945 when 6 planes went missing. Is it going to be the Bermuda Triangle flight, the Bermuda Triangle article, or the Bermuda Triangle mystery begin? All right, so one of the things that you have to pay attention to when you're selecting these is, does it make sense when you're reading it? The Bermuda Triangle flight began in 1945 when 6 planes went missing? No. The Bermuda Triangle article began in 1945 when 6 planes went missing? No. The Bermuda Triangle mystery began in 1945 when 6 planes went missing. That one sounds like it makes more sense. Now, people know that those planes probably crashed because of equipment problems, scientists' explanations, or dangerous curses. It's going to be equipment problems. It tells about all the things here. In here, it says that his compass was broken here, and it says that his equipment wasn't working properly there.
Now, read Making the Bermuda Triangle Famous by Eva Stewart.
All right.
While you read, you'll compare this passage about the Bermuda Triangle to the one you just read.
All right. So we have already listened to the first one, and that was the Bermuda Triangle mystery. Now we're going to listen to Making the Bermuda Triangle Famous, and we're just going to compare and contrast the two while we are reading. So, what is there about this particular slice of the world that has destroyed hundreds of ships and planes without a trace? That is how an article about the Bermuda Triangle by a journalist named Vincent Gaddis begins. He believed that the area was cursed, and he thought people would like to read about it. He made the Bermuda Triangle famous. The Bermuda Triangle has a large area in the Atlantic Ocean. Planes and boats crash or disappear there a lot because of bad weather, or at least they seem to. But it wasn't a famous spot until Gaddis came along. Vincent Gaddis believed the Bermuda Triangle, the triangular area shown on the map, was cursed. So they think that this area is cursed.
How are key details about the Bermuda Triangle the same in both passages? Add the similarity to the chart.
So remember, key details are the details that are super important. So what is the similarity between these two? In the Bermuda Triangle mystery, it says
the area didn't have a name until Vincent Gaddis wrote a magazine article about the 6 missing planes in 1963. That article sparked the public's interest in the mystery.
And Making the Bermuda Triangle Famous says
that is how an article about the Bermuda Triangle by a journalist named Vincent Gaddis begins. He believed that the area was cursed, and he thought people would like to read about it.
All right. So is it that they both tell why the Bermuda Triangle had no name at first? No, only the first one tells us that. Does it say they both tell what Vincent Gaddis believed about the Bermuda Triangle? Well, no, the second one is the only one that tells that he believed that the area was cursed and that people would like to read about it. This last one says they both tell how people became interested in the Bermuda Triangle. It does. It says that article sparked the public's interest in the mystery, and this one says he thought people would like to read about it. Flight 19 was a group of 5 planes that crashed in the Bermuda Triangle in 1945. No one ever found the planes. Almost 20 years later, Gaddis wrote a magazine article about the mystery of Flight 19. He was the he was the person who first used the name Bermuda Triangle. He said that boats and planes crashed there because of a curse. Gaddis had no proof of the curse, but in 1963, right before his article came out, something happened that made people believe his story. Two Air Force planes crashed into each other in the Bermuda Triangle. People thought it was a very strange accident. Why didn't the pilots of the planes see each other and change directions? After people read Gaddis's article, they believed that it was the curse that caused the plane crash.
Which key detail is found in only one of the passages about the Bermuda Triangle?
So, um, it says what key detail was found in only one of the passages about the Bermuda Triangle? Was it that Vincent Gaddis's article gave people the idea that the area was cursed? What is that? Was it that Flight 18 probably disappeared because of a broken compass? Or is it that the Bermuda Triangle is a large triangle in the Atlantic Ocean? Well, we can scroll up and look, and keep this in mind while you're doing your iReady. You can scroll up and look. Well, this second one shows that it's a big triangular area. The first one, but so does the second one. So we know that that's not the answer. Is it that Vincent Gaddis's article gave people the idea that the area was cursed, or is it that Flight 19 probably disappeared because of a broken compass? Well, if we go up, he says here that planes probably crashed because of a curse. And it doesn't say anything else about a broken compass. So, the Bermuda Triangle became well known all over the world. People wrote many books about it. Some writers suggested that it was sea monsters that cursed boats and caused planes to crash or disappear. Others claimed aliens from outer space were the cause. In this way, the myth grew, and the Bermuda Triangle is still fascinating people today.
Fill in the blanks to explain the difference between the main ideas of the two passages about the Bermuda Triangle.
So, if we think back, all the way back to before winter break, we learned that main idea is the most important point that an author is trying to make. And both of these have a main idea. So let's see if we can fill in the blanks to explain the main idea, the differences between the main ideas about the Bermuda Triangle. So, Bermuda Triangle mystery focuses on the disappearance of Flight 19 and says there is a simple article, accident, or reason that explains the mystery. So, the first one, it tells us that it probably happened because of the compasses, they stopped working. So it says that there is a simple reason that explains the mystery. But making the Bermuda Triangle famous focuses on how the stories, people, or planes of the area came to be known. I read that again. But making the Bermuda Triangle famous focuses on the blank of the cursed area to become known. So the stories, because this second one tells about all the stories that people wrote. All right. I believe that is it for the iReady interactive lesson. So now we are going to read two passages together. We're going to be reading the history of television and should we watch TV, and then we're going to answer 5 questions. So let's begin. So, history of television. Sorry, I have my hood on. It's getting bright in here, and I have a bit of a headache. So, David Sarnoff had an idea. If sound could travel over the radio, why couldn't pictures? In 1939, he showed the world that it was possible. Broadcast television was born. No one person can claim that he or she invented the television. But even though television was invented, there was a catch. No one knew what to do with it. Sarnoff did. and he knew where to introduce it. In 1939, Sarnoff showed the first television broadcast at the New York World's Fair. People crowded around the tiny sets to watch the black and white pictures. The first show was of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who gave a speech. That same year, television sets went on sale. The first ones were small, only 5 by 12-inch screens. So that is almost like this, probably a little smaller than this. So imagine your TV screen being this big. Television companies began showing programs. In 1939, the first baseball game was put on television. Stations began to broadcast news shows, children's shows, comedies, and dramas. Today, there are hundreds of channels and many more kinds of programs. The number of TV sets is used, excuse me. The number of TV sets in use also keeps growing. In 1946, there were about 6,000 television sets in use in the United States. So, in all 50 states, there were only 6,000 TVs that people were using. In 1951, there were 12 million. As more people watched, more shows were added. By 1962, around 49 million U.S. households had televisions in the home. Today, 99% of homes have a television. Some even have 3 or more. I am So, I just Googled, and now in America, in the United States, there are about 120.6 million TVs in houses. So, there are 120.6 million TVs in use, where in 1946 there were only about 6,000. All right, now let's read this next one. So, the next one says, should we watch TV? What do you do in your free time? If you say watch television, you're not alone. About 99% of American households own a television. Their airwaves are flooded with all kinds of programs. There are hundreds of channels to choose from, and there's so much to see. You can watch a tiger hunt in the jungle, something that you might not ever see in person. You can visit the bottom of the ocean or cruise in outer space from your sofa. You can learn how to do new things such as cook. TV is also a good way to relax. Watching a funny show can be relaxing. I love to watch funny shows when I'm relaxing. But do Americans watch too much television? One study said that the average person watches 4 hours each day. If that person lived to be 65 years old, he or she would have watched TV for 9 years. So if you watch TV for 4 hours a day and you live to be 65 years old, you will have watched TV for 9 years of your entire life. Watching television doesn't require effort. All you have to do is sit and watch. When children watch TV, they are not playing and running. They aren't playing games or solving problems. Also, children who watch a lot of TV tend to eat more junk food, including chips and soda. So, watching a lot of TV can be bad for your health. Watching a little television each day isn't harmful. It might even make you smarter. But if you're watching 4 hours a day, think about doing something else. All right. Now, we've got some questions that we're going to answer. So this says, which choice best describes why the author wrote History of Television? So this one here. Did the author write it to tell us why David Sarnoff was important to TV? Did he write it to show how the television has grown since 1939? Did he write it to describe what types of programs are available on TV? Or to prove that people watch too much television? So it doesn't, we know that it doesn't. Let's see if I can find a pen to write with. All right. So it doesn't tell us why David was important I don't like that. To TV. It just says that he knew what to do with the TV. It says to show how television has grown since 1939. Maybe. Because it starts off by telling us that there were only 6,000 TVs in the United States, but I just Googled and now there's 120.6 million TVs in the United States. So that's a maybe. So, to describe what types of programs are available on TV, does it tell us what kind of shows we can watch on TV? No, so that can't be the answer. And does the first one prove anything about people watching too much television? No, that's the second one. So, our answer is B. Next question says, what is one of the most important ideas of should we watch TV? So this one. Is it A, television shows will make you smarter? Is it B, watching too much TV can be harmful? Is it C, the number of TVs in homes is increasing each year? Or is it D, a wide variety of programs is available on TV? Now, it does mention A in this last paragraph here. It says, watching a little TV each day isn't bad, isn't harmful, it might even make you smarter. But is that what the entire passage is about? No, so that's not going to be our answer. Is it that B, watching too much TV can be harmful? Well, it tells us that um, when kids are not when kids are watching TV, they're not running around. But it also tells us when kids are watching TV, they probably eat more chips and soda, and that it can be bad for your health, and that you can watch TV. If you live to be 65 years old and you watch TV for 4 hours a day, you'll have watched TV for 9 years of your whole life. So maybe. Is it that the number of TVs in homes is increasing each year, going up? Nope, that was the first one. Remember, because it started off with 6,000 and then it went to 12 million, then 49 million, and now it's at 120.6 million. Or is it that a wide variety of programs is available on TV? Now, it does tell us that people can watch comedies and dramas and cooking shows, but that's not what the entire thing is about. So it's going to tell us that watching too much TV is harmful for your health. Now, what are two details from should we watch TV that support your answer to part A? So this was part A. See here it says part A. And we need to find two key details that support that watching too much TV is harmful from this article. So is it A, the airways are flooded with all kinds of programs? No, because that doesn't tell us why watching TV can be harmful. Is it B, about 99% of American households own a television? No, that doesn't tell us why it's harmful either, or even that it's harmful. C says one study showed that the average person watches 4 hours each day. Maybe, because that's a lot of TV. Is it D, watching a little television each day, is it harmful? No, that doesn't tell us why watching too much TV is it harmful. Is it E, watching television doesn't require effort? No, that doesn't tell us why it's harmful either. Or is it that F, so watching a lot of TV can be bad for your health? Well, that one, it automatically is because it tells us it's bad for your health. But the other one is that, remember, it says watching too much TV can be harmful. And if someone watches TV for 4 hours a day, that's pretty harmful. So we have two questions left. Which of the following ideas is found in both passages? Is it that A, watching TV might make you smarter? No, because if we go back, that was only said in the second one. Is it that B, too many Americans watch too much television? Nope, that was also only found in the second one. Is it C, the first television screens were only 5 inches by 12 inches? Nope, that was only in the history of television. So that means, by process of elimination, it's our last one. But let's read it. Most households in America have a television. Yeah, I believe here it says 99% of households have a TV, but it also says it right here. So D is going to be our answer. Last question. So this says, what sentence best describes the difference between the two passages? So here we told how they were the same, and now we're going to tell how they're different. That's the compare and contrast. Is it A, the first passage shows the benefits of television and the second passage shows the problems with television? No, this doesn't tell us the problems with television or the benefits of television. The first passage describes the invention of television, and the second passage describes why television is so popular. Super close. But the first passage doesn't describe the invention of televisions, it describes the history of televisions. C, the first passage explains the importance of TV. The second passage describes how TV can be used in education. Did this passage say anything about TVs being used in education? No. It says it might make you a little smarter, but it doesn't tell you anything else about education, so that can't be the answer either. The last one says the first passage describes the history of television, and the second passage explores whether watching TV is good or bad. That's going to be our answer, and we can figure that out by looking at the titles. History of television, and should we watch TV? All right. So for your assignment today, you're going to log into Canvas, and you are going to be doing pretty much the same thing. You're going to be reading 2 passages, and then you are going to answer 5 questions. So, keyword for today, the code word for today is going to be pancakes. So, when you get into your Canvas, and you find the assignment with today's date on it, goodbye books and e-readers, no sub for books. There are 2 passages that you're going to read, goodbye books and e-reader, no substitute for books. You're going to answer these 5 questions. This last one says what is today's code word from the video. It's pancake, so make sure you put that. All right, boys and girls, you're going to do awesome. Have a good day, and we'll see from you tomorrow. We'll hear from you tomorrow.